Hi everybody, MDpolo here at Range USA with a Smith & Wesson CSX-E Series. On top you got a Swamp Fox Sentinel. We're about 7 yards out, 12 rounds loaded of SMB, 124 grain. Let's see how this goes. Rounds. Gun is empty. Definitely a different trigger. Show you what it was. So not bad. And we'll go to the tabletop and talk about it and maybe see how it was different from the original as well. Stay tuned. Today we're going to take a second look at a gun that came out in 2022. And I'm talking about the Smith & Wesson CSX. Now this is a gun that came out to some controversy, if you will. And there were a lot of YouTubers or people doing reviews on them that liked it. At the same time, there were quite a bit of them actually, that didn't like it at all. Now whether it got a fair chance or not, that's up to you to decide. But for me, I reviewed it and I thought it was a gun that had a lot of potential. But I did feel that Smith & Wesson missed the mark on it. So now, fast forward to 2025, it was released again, but now as the enhanced model. So it's the CSX-E Series. And we'll go through it at the tabletop. The E Series mostly refers to the optics cut, but according to Smith & Wesson, it also comes with an enhanced trigger. They did trigger work and that it's much better than the first one. So we're going to take a look at that. I did look at some reviews before I did this video, and I normally don't, so I'm not influenced. But I wanted to see what people that I consider to be more knowledgeable than me had to say about this new release from Smith & Wesson. Now, most of the reviews from said knowledgeable people said that the trigger is fantastic. And right off the bat, my opinion only, and I guess that's why you're here, my opinion only is that I wouldn't put it as fantastic. There's a lot of things that I really like about this gun. I really do. And there are some things about it that make me not convinced that it's how do I say this? I'm not fully convinced that it's a gun for me. And we'll go through the tabletop, and at the end of the video I will tell you why. So if you want to hang around until then, if you want to fast forward to the end, that's when I'm going to tell you what I really think about it and whether it's for me or not. So I like the fact that it's an all-metal gun. That's very nice. I also like, of course, the fact that it's optics ready. And on top I've got a Vortex mounted, I'm sorry, not a Vortex, a Swamp Fox Sentinel. And I had this one sitting in the drawer for quite some time. And what I really liked about it, and I'm not flagging myself and the gun is unloaded, it's how thin it is, because this is a very, very small gun. And most of the optics that I have hung, spilled over the width of the slide. And I keep saying Vortex, good Lord. I was watching a video this morning about a Vortex. This Swamp Fox Sentinel, it just fits it perfectly. And of course, it's a direct mount. So we'll go through all this. But this little package with 12 rounds, it's really, really nice. Another thing that I think Smith & Wesson knocked it out of the ballpark with the E Series, is that all in the box, it comes with a 12 round mag, a 15 round mag, a 17 round mag, and you can use it in all those configurations. So you want to, micro compact, you got that. You got a flush fit mag, you got that. You want a, compact size with a 15 round, you have that. And if you want a full size grip with a 17 round, you have that as well. Everything's in the box, the spacers, sorry about that text, everything's included. So for you, if this is right for you, it could be a gun that is at one stop, has it all. So we'll go through what I like, what I don't like. So with that said, let's go to the tabletop and get going. All right, we're back at the tabletop with the Smith & Wesson CSX-E Series. Like I mentioned, the intro was released in February of 2025 as a follow-up to the original release in 2022. Now, of course, it's a 9mm, and it is an all-metal gun with a steel slide and an aluminum body, and we'll go a little bit more into that. It is hammer-fired. As you can see here, the gun is safety checked, but it is a hammer-fired single-action micro-compact. It's got an armonite finish, and it's available in two lengths, a 3.1 inch and a 3.6. This is the 3.6. The original release in 2022 was a 3.1 as well, so you still have those options. What's nice about this one, the Enhanced Series, like I mentioned in the intro, you got a capacity of 12 rounds, 15 rounds, and 17 plus 1. And I'll show you all that in a second. So everything you need comes in the box as well as the tools. It's got a height of 4.6 inches, not counting the optic. And it's not very heavy for its size, but you can feel this definitely it feels heavier than a Glock 43 or 43X or even a 365 from SIG. Okay, but it comes in at 19.7 ounces. It's only 1.1 inches wide, which is one of the pretty much the standard now to be an inch around that size. It comes in any color you want as long as it's black, and it's made by Smith & Wesson here in the US. The MSRP on this thing runs around 699 jelly beans, but I've seen it as low as 600. So your mileage will vary depending on your location. So let's take a look on what comes with the box. Right now, the Swamp Fox Sentinel is mounted on it, but of course that doesn't come with it. But I think it fits it like a glove. But let's dive into what comes in the box. You get the normal black normal cardboard Smith & Wesson box, and inside of it you get everything you can imagine for the gun. Okay, you get the punch tool that you need to install all the back straps. It's got back straps, extra back straps here for your grip, and it also has the mag release button that is swappable. Okay, so you can swap it here, and right now the cover plate is in there because I put the optic. All right, also right now the rear sight is in there, but everything you need is right here. All right, let me put the box away. So you have the gun, and you got all the mags and the spacers that you need. This video might be a little bit longer than normal because there's quite a bit to cover. So like I said, you got your punch tool. You've got 17 round mag with the sleeves. They all come with their sleeves. Got 17 rounder. You've got a 15 rounder. And you got the 12 round. So I showed you in the beginning, here it is with a 12 round. And then you can go to the 15 round. I've got medium-sized hands, and that's how it fits. And then you can go to the 17 round. So this, if the 19X was the mullet gun, this is like 1980s mega mullet. So we can call it the mega mullet. But with a medium-sized hands, you got plenty of room here. Okay, so the nice thing about it, and what's very unusual, is it also comes with this back strap. So with a punch here, you see that you got that detent in there. So let's see if I can do this around the camera. So you punch that, you just push it down, and it releases the back strap. And YouTube, I am not modifying this firearm in any way. All this came from the factory, and this is what it's supposed to do. So if you want to do the 15 round mag, you just do that. I'm sorry, 15 round mag. So now you've got the whole grip. You don't need a grip extension. And here's the 15 rounder. We remove that grip extension. And now you've got a flush fit 15 round E Series gun. And you can really, really get a hold of this thing. But wait, there's more. No, I'm not going to sell you a set it and forget it. Here we got the 17 round. I just removed the sleeve. You got this really tiny micro spacer. You put it in the 17 round mag like this, and now the 17 fits flush in your compact grip. So you really can play Legos with this thing according to what you want. We just went from 17 flush to 15 flush. I mean, it's pretty amazing. And then again, you got two of these. You want to go back, you grab your punch, press the detent, and it's hard to do around the camera. You press until it clicks, push it out, and see there's your little detent. That's what you need to defeat. And then you grab your back strap, if you want to go back, press it through, defeat the detent, and you're back. And that's all that's all it takes to go between different capacities, different size grips, and even different size back straps. So that part of it, I think it was ingenious. Smith & Wesson, they really thought about this, and they did a fantastic job. You got everything you need in one box. So let me put all that aside, and we're going to continue working with just, what the heck happened here? That was not there when we started. Well, sorry about that. I normally like this to be perfect. So going back to the gun here, like I said, normally it comes with, the red dot is not installed. So you have 3-dot sights. It's a white dot dovetailed in the front. And when you want to install, you remove the plate, you lose the rear sight. Okay, it just comes right off when you remove the plate. It's nothing you need to battle. But you have your choice, optics ready or just regular 3 dots. The footprint is RMSC or a Holosun 507K. All right. Now the slide, like all Smith & Wessons as of late, they're steel. It's got a nice black glossy finish, which is Armonite, and I really like it. It's just, it looks quality, it feels quality. It's got nice slice serrations on top. When you run your fingers forward, you really don't feel the bite, but if you try to run them backwards towards the hammer, it really bites you. So they did a great job with these slice serrations. They're not the wavy that you see in other Smith & Wessons, but just straight, and they do a really, really good job. The frame is aluminum, and it's got a smooth matte finish and with polymer inserts. In my original Smith & Wesson CSX, the front strap was very loose, and that's one of the common things I kept hearing about this. In this one, it's nice and tight, and there's no movement whatsoever. You got different back straps. You can change it, like I mentioned to you. You just, with a tool, with a punch, and all this can be changed and removed. The mags don't have any indentations or the grip, anything to try to strip mags, but you got plenty of room down here in order to be able to pull the mag out in case of a malfunction. And you also have this overhang here, so everything fits nice and flush. There's not really a mag well to talk about, although you do have a little bit of a lip here. I'm not sure if it's coming through with lighting, but small gun, right? So they're not going to give you a huge area. Now let's get into the controls. You got ambi safety, so you do have a safety on both sides. They're appropriate for the size of the gun. You're not going to have enormous controls. The hammer is serrated, so for nice traction, and so are the safeties. The safety is, I don't know if you can hear it, but it's very positive and it's easy to engage. It's not, I don't feel it's something you need to worry about that is just gonna, you put it in the holster and it's gonna go away from you. You got no problem there. Here you got your slide stop, as you see there, and that is ambi. You got a nice polished feed ramp in here, if you can see it. I know it's not, there you go, a little bit better. Now, one of the things that I think was good for safety purposes is, and not every gun does this for you, is, let's say you engage the safety and you can rack the slide, which, by the way, is very easy to rack, very smooth. I mean, it really feels high quality. But your safety is engaged, so the trigger is not going anywhere, and you can rack the slide. So I thought that was very nice. Another thing that is interesting is the hammer. If you go just like that, quarter cock, the trigger is disengaged. Okay. There you go. Moving down to the mag release, you've got your button here. It's got some texture. It doesn't protrude very far, but it does a great job of ejecting these mags. I mean, they just fly out of there. So it does a great job. And like I mentioned, the mag release is not swappable, but Smith & Wesson, in this little baggie, you have the right-hand side. So you would remove this one and install the other one, and you're ready for, if you shoot lefty. So you can rejoice, the gun is ready for righties or for lefties. Okay, you're going to see there's a little, I don't know if it'll show up on camera, there's a little F in there for fire, in that little circle there. So there's unsafe, and now you're on fire. It's got somewhat of a beaver tail here, and some people have been complaining about slide bite, and my hands are not that big. Like I said, medium-sized hands. That's normally where I would grab, and that's how it fits. So I've had zero issues with slide bite at all. Next, let's talk about the trigger. Where do I go with this one? I'm just going to tell you the truth. You take it for what it is. Smith & Wesson did not send me this gun. Nobody knows actually that I'm doing this review from the industry. I paid for it, so I'm just going to give you my opinion, unbiased and as truthful as I can, like I always do. In this particular gun, the trigger measures at 4.13 pounds on a 5-pull average, and that is supposed to be the enhanced trigger, and that's perfectly fine. I don't have any issue with that. Smith & Wesson said that they did a lighter pull than in the first release, and I believe them. I do believe also with their claim that it's a little bit more of a linear pull than the other one, which still had a bit of a swing, and I also believe that claim. Where I stop believing with their literature is when they say that they have an improved reset, and because at least this sample of one does not. Now, some of you may say, well, you don't shoot to the reset when you're in a self-defense scenario. And I agree with that. But in order to have a better experience with this, I had to fully release the trigger and then go again. So you got your little safety dingus here that disappears fully into the almost flat trigger, and then your hammer goes, and then your reset. So on camera it looks perfect, and it almost is. The only issue that I have with this is that, and it's just nothing but personal preference. That's the word I was looking for. When I press the trigger and it breaks and it goes to reset, I really prefer a trigger that pushes my finger forward a little bit. You hear the click and you're ready to go. This one, it does not. Look, I'm push the trigger back, it's cycled, now I'm ready to release. There, it kind of stops, it kind of slows, and you have to wait for it, it clicks, and then you go. I don't like this trigger that you gotta kind of wait for it until it until it clicks, resets, and then you can go again. Now, before you start yelling at me in the comments section, that's personal preference. I'm really nitpicking. When I was out at the range, which I had a really good time with it, it's not an issue. You just go out there and you shoot and you shoot and you shoot and you're fine. And even if you have to do release all the way and go, is fine. And I already hear a lot of people bashing it, and I'm nitpicking. But I think they did a better job in this trigger, and I'm fine with it. Do I love it? No. Could it be better? Yes. But it is what it is, and I think they did a better job. Where I get stuck with this is it feels cheap. The whole gun feels good. It feels quality, metal. They did a great job. What they did with the grip module deserves an award because it is fantastic. And then they put this flimsy, plasticky trigger that, not all polymers are the same. And if you can see here, the dingus, you see that? It just floats around. You see that? And then the trigger, the trigger shoe itself, you can move it around, up and down, side to side, and the trigger feels plastic. That's my only gripe with the new E Series trigger. It just feels cheap. Serviceable? Yes. Does it do the job? Yes. But it's kind of like getting somebody all dressed up and they look wonderful, their hair is done perfect, they got great clothes on, they got a fantastic watch on. If you're a lady, you got your diamonds on, and then you go out with Crocs on your feet. Finish it up, do a good job, put a better trigger, and you got something special here. It was very easy to carry, and the reason for it is I contacted Vetter holsters, which they've always done a fantastic job for me. And I asked them, because I've been looking around wanting to find out who makes holsters for the new E Series. And I couldn't find anybody that did at this time that I'm making the video. So I contacted Vetter, and they said, well, we have holsters for the original 3.1 inch, but we don't have them yet ready for the 3.6. However, let me talk to our holster makers and see if we can modify one of our current holsters to at least be usable with your 3.6 inch. And what they did is they customized a light tuck. So this is the Vetter light tuck. And what they did is they widened, they opened up the slide area, and now I've got this. This is the carbon model, and it's got this metal clip. You can adjust it up and down. You can adjust your canter as well. It's got the claw, and you do have part of the barrel that sticks out like that, but something to test this while more holsters are made, I'm perfectly fine with that, and it is really, really comfortable. A lot of people try to use the phrase that, it disappears on you. I didn't feel it. I've never really experienced that until I started carrying this in the Vetter holster. It is wonderful to carry. I love that about the CSX, and with the light tuck holster from Vetter. So if you got a CSX or any other needs, please look them up. They do a really good job. Their lead time is short, and it's a high quality holster. So thank you. They did send me this, and I really appreciate them working with me. So to try to get this video closed out, what do I like, what don't I like about the CSX-E Series? Well, like I just said, it's very comfortable to carry. It was very accurate with me, and I had zero issues whatsoever. Let me grab the boxes and just show you what I've been shooting through it, because it ate everything. Yep, here's everything. So let me move these things around. This is a ammo maker that is local to Indiana, is veteran owned, and it's called Vitalis Precision, and they do very high quality accurate ammo, especially for competition, for rifles, and they started doing ammo for handguns as well. And this is 125 grain, and my guns have loved this. They put everything in the back to let you know how it was tested, the velocities, power factors, all that. So if you want to check them out, and this Indiana company, I'm Indiana resident, so it did that very well. It also ate this without any problem whatsoever. This Winchester Ranger T Series is plus P ammo, zero issues with that. One of my favorite ones is the Fort Scott munition, and this is the TPD coating on it, which is patented according to them. And this thing just screams, it's 80 grain, and it just screams out of there with a spear tip. No problems whatsoever, which was important to me. I like it, and it had zero issues feeding the spear tip. Then I also shot from Sig Sauer, the V Crown, the one that was made for small guns, for concealed carry guns. Also zero issues with that. And finally, the Federal, and this is the Premium Personal Defense, and it is 124 grain HST. So those are all the types of ammo that I put through the Smith & Wesson CSX, and zero issues at all. So very, very reliable. And the more I shot it, of course, you get used to it, and the more accurate I got with it. Now, what don't I like about it is, did I finish? I also liked my likes. I also liked that you can actually cycle the slide with the safety on. And, of course, all the flexibility that you have with the different types of ammo. Good Lord, I mean, what is this? Squirrel. Okay, dislikes. Like I already told you my feelings about this, about the trigger, so I don't have to go through that as well. The other thing that I didn't like is that to disassemble the gun, to field strip it, this is the button that you need to press, and there's no way to press it without a tool. Okay, so you need to press it so it pops out, the other side pops out, and you remove it, and out you go. So you need something, and it's not going to be the back of a casing, anything like that. You're going to need some sort of a punch included, but now you need a tool to disassemble this. And I'm not a fan of that. If you are, then you have no issues here. I don't like that Smith & Wesson keeps putting the loaded chamber indicator in up here, because it did just completely soil the front of the lens. Okay, so why do they have to do that? I don't know. I don't know if it's a regulation or something that requires them to do that, but they did it anyway. And another thing that may be an issue or not, depending on you and your red dot, your likes and dislikes, but I would have preferred that I don't lose the rear sight when mounting a red dot. So, and the last thing was, and I had the same gripe with the original, as high quality as the grip is, it's very, very slick. And you got fabulous texture everywhere except where your hands go. And this being a small gun, you don't have a lot of real estate, so you need every inch of real estate to keep this thing secure. Why not give us texture up here, Smith & Wesson, please? So that's it for my gripes and my dislikes on this Smith & Wesson. So what are my final thoughts on this? I think, is it an improvement over the first one? Yes. The answer is yes, no question whatsoever. Is the trigger better? Yes, but I already told you my butts on that. But it was so easy to carry. So easy to carry. I really like that. So I have a love-hate relationship with this gun, because I think could be better, but it's not. I like the way it feels in my hand. The trigger's improved, but I love the way it feels in my hand, and I like looking at it. I don't know if that's not important whatsoever, but do you ever just sit there at your desk while you're doing something else, and after your check is unloaded, you just sit there and kind of look at the guns, put it in your hand, see how it feels? You know, you change it to your left hand and you see how that looks and feels. I do. And I love the way this looks. I love the way it feels in my hand. But, and that's where I'm at right now. Do I have better options? Yeah. Am I going to keep it? Not sure yet. But I cannot be any more honest with you on that. If some of the issues or points or things I talked about are not important to you, that's fine too. Just wanted to tell you what I thought about it. So a lot longer than I thought I was going to go. We're almost at 28, 29 minutes, plus I still have to do the flyby thingy at the end. So it's going to be at least a 33-minute video. I'll put a timestamp below so you can jump around if you want to. And like I mentioned at the intro, if you can help me out, if you think I've earned it and you like what I'm doing, help me out with a subscriber count. The fact that I only have 5% subscription rate compared to my viewers, it was didn't make me feel very good about things. So anyway, thank you so much for watching. Please keep in mind that I upload videos every Friday morning and when I can on Wednesday mornings as well. My videos are uploading to Rumble, and I'm posting content over on Instagram and X. So once again, thank you so much for stopping by, and until the next time, God bless.